Alrighty, welcome back everyone. We just talked about some recruiting updates from around the 2025 cycle. So much stuff happening around that cycle. We had Decorium Moore decommit from LSU. Sounds like he might be looking in the way of Texas, but tons of stuff can still happen in that one because this is one of the best players in the entire country. But let's break into a Good Vibes Monday, talking about College Football 25, some updates from that. Obviously, we got the trailer for College Football 25 about a week, 2 weeks ago, and I've been waiting for every and any update that you can possibly give me. I don't care if it's a picture. I don't even care if it's fully real, to be totally honest with you. I just want anything to get me more excited about this game, and there's definitely been some really, really cool things that have come out over the last couple of weeks from some different sources, but let's break down some of the big-time ones. There have been some shots in the stadium that I've yet to see any mistakes from, really. It seems like a lot of them are very intricate. Even I saw one of Darrell K. Royal, the Texas Stadium, and they had the band all the way up top. So it shows you that there is a little bit of detail being put into these stadiums in particular, and very, very excited about that. It sounds like recruiting is going to be a huge part of the game, and not only, just pulling in kids and hoping that they hit, but it sounds like 5 stars are going to feel different than 4 stars, and 4 stars will feel different than 3 stars, and so on and so on. So it'll be very interesting. You'll be able to recruit these kids, and maybe you have a 5-star sign. You just can't wait to get him on the field and get his speed and that type of thing. We've heard rumors that you might have some measurables for these kids where you didn't have them in the past, and it would be really, really cool to kind of just get more excited about the players that you're bringing in and how you can kind of utilize them in your team in a dynasty. So it'll be fascinating to watch that. I think another really cool update is around the playbooks. Obviously, we know there's going to be, I think, 134 different playbooks that are designed around the teams. I don't know exactly how intricate they're going to be because I'm sure there are tons of things that coaches were absolutely not giving up to EA during this time, but it'll be really interesting to see these playbooks kind of unfold, especially the option offenses. It sounds like those are being very, very intricate for obvious reasons, a very intricate offense. It sounds like things are going to move very quickly in that. It's going to be really, really interesting, and definitely something that you'll see a couple of guys start to run triple option teams because there are a lot of ways you can attack a team, and especially if you're giving me a full playbook in a triple option offense, I might just utilize that a time or two. But the best update as far as I'm concerned is that helmets can be knocked off in this game. I think we can all agree that laying into the hit stick and seeing a helmet fly off someone's head, at least virtually, is a very, very fun thing. So I think that's something that everyone can get excited for. I know me personally, I'm going to be laying into that hit stick, hoping to get as many helmets off players as possible, just because that's what we want to see, right? That's football right there. And then there's going to be a ticker at the bottom of the screen. Obviously, not the biggest update in the world, but is a fun and simple way to kind of get fans more engaged, feel like they're on a big-time broadcast, right? And that's kind of the ultimate goal. Another big-time update was something that happened at the EA headquarters in Orlando recently. Tons of media personalities. Matt Brown, who has been the LeBron James of covering this game as of right now. Chris Vavini and Danny Cannell all made their way down to Orlando because they were invited to play the game. And I have yet to see any update that has been not glowing. I haven't seen anything concrete necessarily that has given us a ton of stuff to look into. But the reality is all of these guys have been astounded with the game. They are incredibly excited about this one. And it seems like it's living up to the hype, at least thus far. Obviously, a lot of that will come to fruition once this game fully comes out, but at the very least, some of the people that love this sport as much as me and you love the game, so that makes me feel a little bit better about the future of it. I think this is a great idea going forward for EA and for a number of different games. Just invite a bunch of big-time media personalities to your studios, let them play the game, and then just let them rave about it for the next couple of weeks, and it'll be incredible to watch some of the new stuff come out. It sounds like gameplay is coming out pretty soon, but we didn't get too much from these group of people, obviously, because you can't just be giving out all the information willy-nilly. That's a dangerous game to play if you're a journalist, but it looked like one of the things that was leased was the matchup screen on the Play Now feature, and it had UCF against USF. And if you're familiar with, some logos for some games or for what games are called is the best way to put it. The game for Ohio State, Michigan, that type of thing. Iowa State, or what am I saying? UCF and USF is the War on I-4, and that's an incredible name. It's one that I love to no end, and they had that logo in there, and that was huge. They also had the throwback logo for UCF, so it feels like they're doing everything they can. It feels like. Obviously, there is a ton of things that we will only be able to figure out once we see gameplay or once we actually get the game in our hands. But the reality is, it feels like they are not cutting corners. They are refusing to let themselves get into the same routine of making the game that they made before, just in a different packaging. So hopefully that comes to fruition. Maybe it's just wishful thinking by me, but it looks like they're doing what is really important for this game. And one of the most important parts of this game, I think we can all agree, is how much swag can I get on my player? How cool can I make my player look? And they're giving you plenty of options to do that. You can pick from different face masks, helmets, jersey options, and most importantly, you can pick different visors, which is the coolest thing in the entire world. The fact that they can't wear visors in college football right now is insane and absolutely needs to change. So I will absolutely have a big time visor on. I will have a weird face mask, everything in between. Definitely will have my shirt rolled up, which is another thing that you can do. So we'll be looking like Ezekiel Elliott during that 2014 season for Ohio State. So very, very excited about that. I think that's always a really, really fun way to just kind of have a little bit of fun in the game. Definitely. And around all of this incredible news that has been coming out around the game, there's got to be some bad news, right? There's got to be some things that are taken away from this game, and it sounds like it starts with LSU. There are a lot of kids that apparently have opted out of this game, around 38 kids, it sounds like, mostly freshmen and transfers that will not be in the game, and I don't necessarily know the reasoning behind that. Dominic McKinley is a fantastic defensive lineman freshman that is over there that has opted out, so to each their own, that's everyone's decision to make. Obviously, LSU fans are a little bit upset because you lose a big chunk of that roster, but at the end of the day, I think it'll be kind of a blip on the radar at the end of the day. More importantly, it sounds like there's not going to be mascot mode in this game, and I understand not many people play mascot mode like crazy, and not many people are super engaged in it, but the reality is I need it in the game. I don't play it often, but when I do, it's tons of fun, and it's something that I think just makes that game just a little bit more fun, especially for some of the more casual fans that aren't quite as into, the play calling and don't necessarily know all the players. Playing with some mascots is fun, plain and simple. Also, they don't fully have the ESPN license, so we will not have a game day. Technically, we will have some type of pregame show, but it won't be entitled College Game Day. Also, no ESPN scorebook. Both kind of meh changes, to be totally honest with you, but definitely not fully ideal. Also, BCS will not be an option in the Dynasty. It will just be the playoff. I fully understand why they're doing that, although I don't necessarily love it. I probably would have found my way back to the BCS era if I'm being totally honest, but I think it's going to be really, really interesting to see this game kind of unfold more and more. We're going to get gameplay sometime here pretty soon. We're going to get a ton of more details here pretty soon. I think the way it'll probably go is you get tons of details in the next week and a half, and then it kind of goes dry, at least until, a couple of days before the release happens, just because you want to build that anticipation, and some of that is just leaving them wanting more, right? So I think it'll be fascinating to watch all of this unfold. I think all of us, including me, are just right now planning what their end of July is going to look like, because it is not going to be productive. I can tell you that much. I'm going to be playing this game much more than I need to. Obviously, I will still be right in front of this camera at 9 a.m. to make sure you guys are updated on everything in college football, but right when I finish, I am back on that game and ready to roll. So very, very excited about this game. Could not be more excited if I'm being totally honest. I think there are tons of people out there that either you played this game when you were a kid like me and you just cannot wait for it to come back out, or maybe this is the first time you're really getting a chance to play these games and you want to experience everything the way that we got to early on. So a ton of really, really cool things happening with this game. I think it's shaping up to be everything that I wanted it to be. Obviously, some things that are missing that I kind of wish were in there, but nothing that is super major, nothing that will really hurt me in the time being, and definitely will be getting a Dynasty going. So excited for this game to come out, and I think I would love to hear any ideas you have for my coach's name in Dynasty, or maybe a player name in Road to Glory. I know I've on here said we did Swarlow's Hyde in the past. We did Ezekiel Chubbnet, who was just an amalgamation of some remarkable running backs. So definitely some great names out there, some great things to pull from, but would love to hear not only what you guys are doing on the game, but if you have any suggestions for my coach's name or my dynasty team or my team builder on this game, I'd love to hear them. So it'll be fascinating to watch this game get closer and closer. I know for me, it's just counting down the days at this point. So cannot wait for it. I think a lot of us cannot wait for it, frankly. But that'll do it for this edition of the GSMC College Football Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to the show, leave a positive review. It does make a huge difference for us. Also, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of the social pages for every update you could possibly need. We have so many people doing incredible work across every single sport in this country, so cannot wait. And out of this country, frankly, we have incredible people covering soccer and women's sports all around the world. So definitely tune in to GSMC to see all of the content that we make. Once again, happy Memorial Day to all of you out there. But thank you once again for listening, and I will see you guys tomorrow.